Reputation is power. It is the armor that shields you, the weapon that strikes for you even when you are silent. Lose it and you are stripped naked, mocked, betrayed, defeated. Guard it as a prince guards his throne, with vigilance, with strategy, with ruthlessness. Today, 7 laws of reputation, drawn from the lessons of Machiavelli, will give you control over how the world sees you and how it obeys you. Be one face, one voice, one pattern. In the brutal arena of office politics, the most dangerous man is not the loudest, not the showman, not the clown scrambling for attention. It is the consistent man, the one you can predict, the one you can depend on, the one who never slips out of character. Why? Because people fear chaos and they trust repetition. Think about it. The office is a battlefield of uncertainty. Deadlines shift, managers change, policies mutate. But the man who remains steady in the storm, he becomes the anchor everyone clings to. That is power. The inconsistent one? He is not seen as flexible. He is seen as deceitful, unstable, disposable. And here's the pathetic truth. You fracture yourself. At work, you posture to impress your boss. At lunch, you whine with peers. In meetings, you bow and scrape with false humility. Online, you puff your chest and pretend to be bold. Do you see the cracks? Every false mask leaks into the next. Soon people whisper, which version is real? Suspicion is born. And suspicion is a slow poison that kills trust. Machiavelli warned, a ruler will be despised if he is changeable, frivolous, timid, or irresolute. In politics, whether royal or corporate, consistency is contempt, and contempt always leads to ruin. In the office, inconsistency is not a flaw, it is suicide. Gossip with one team, play loyal soldier with another, you will be unmasked. And once unmasked, your respect is gone forever. In the digital age, even one contradiction, a sloppy email, a careless remark, a post you forgot to delete, can follow you like a shadow. That shadow never leaves. It stalks you. It strangles you. So what would Machiavelli do? He would forge the iron mask of consistency. He would align words, tone, and values across every arena. He would never say what he cannot back with action. He would speak less, deliver more. He would let his results hammer his reputation into steel. He would follow through on every promise with ruthless precision. Because in the office, reliability is currency. And broken promises, they bankrupt you fast. Consistency is not comfort. It is control. It is your armor, your weapon, your throne. Be one face, one voice, one pattern, and even your rivals will bow to the power of your predictability. This is the first law of strategic success in office politics. Forge the iron mask of consistency. Master it and you become untouchable. Ignore it and you become forgettable.
Hey guys, we're Wisdom, based in Abu Dhabi. We use AI tools to make these concepts come to life, but it's our amazing team who goes deep, breaking down powerful philosophical ideas and showing how they really apply in everyday life. We hope you enjoyed today's content.
Guard your tongue, or it will betray you. In the war of office politics, most men are not destroyed by their failures. They are destroyed by their mouths. You can work for years, building credibility, authority, and alliances. But one reckless word, one careless comment, one outburst in anger, and it all collapses. Reputation is not built in bricks. It is built in whispers. And one whisper can bury you. Think about your own habits. You speak too quickly, desperate to prove yourself. You interrupt, hungry for attention. You badmouth colleagues to feel clever. You vent in anger, convinced people will forget. But they don't. They never forget. They remember. They repeat. They reshape your words into weapons, and those weapons are aimed at you. Your tongue becomes the traitor inside your own castle. Machiavelli warned, A prince must avoid those things which will make him hated or contemptible. And what makes a man contemptible faster than anything else? Loose words, a thoughtless joke in front of the wrong manager, a complaint in front of the wrong peer, a secret whispered to the wrong listener. Failures may be forgiven, but disrespect, never. And in today's world, this danger has multiplied. At work, one sarcastic remark can define you for years. Online, one reckless post becomes permanent. Screenshots are forever. You may delete, but others will not. In the digital court, silence is strategy. Restraint is respect. So what would Machiavelli do? He would never speak ill of his allies or his enemies. To badmouth is to brand yourself disloyal. He would lower his voice in conflict because calm words cut deeper than shouts. He would speak less, observe more. He would make every word count like a calculated strike. He would treat his tongue not as a tool of expression, but as a weapon of war, unsheathed only when it serves his ambition. Remember this. Powerful men are remembered for their actions. Weak men are remembered for their careless words. In the office, the man who controls his speech controls his fate. The man who cannot will be mocked, mistrusted, and maneuvered out of power. This is the second law of strategic success in office politics. Guard your words. Master your tongue, and you will command the room. Fail, and you will hand your enemies the knife that cuts you down. Cut the infection before it spreads. In the battlefield of office politics, it is rarely the mistake that destroys you. It is your refusal to correct it. One error, handled swiftly, becomes a footnote. The same error, left to rot, becomes a scandal. Delay transforms a blemish into a scar, and yet, what do most people do? They deny, they excuse, they pray others forget. But people do not forget. They watch, they whisper, they wonder what else you are hiding. Your silence breeds suspicion, your excuses become evidence. Soon your reputation is poisoned, not by the mistake itself, but by the infection you let spread. Machiavelli praised Cesare Borgia for understanding this brutal truth. After unleashing cruelty through his minister, Borgia restored his reputation in one ruthless stroke. He had the minister executed and displayed in public. The spectacle left people gratified and shocked. Swift correction erased doubt. Hesitation would have destroyed him. Now translate that to the modern office. You will not behead anyone, but hesitate, and your enemies will behead your reputation. In business, in leadership, in relationships, survival belongs to speed. Admit the error before others expose it. Apologize before resentment festers. Act before whispers grow into contempt. So what would Machiavelli do? He would move first. He would seize control of the story before anyone else could. He would correct the harm with visible action. Not empty words, but undeniable proof. He would never give his rivals the satisfaction of discovering his mistake before he did. The lesson is clear. The faster you cut, the less blood you lose. A mistake handled swiftly becomes a tale of responsibility. A mistake ignored becomes a tale of weakness. In the world of office politics, perception is power, and perception moves at speed. This is the third law of strategic success in office politics. Fix mistakes fast. Cut the infection before it spreads, and you survive. Hesitate, and you bleed out in whispers. Choose allies as if choosing weapons. In office politics, you are not judged only by your deeds. You are judged by the reputation of those who stand beside you. Your allies can sharpen your image like a polished blade, or they can dull you into irrelevance. Power is contagious, but so is weakness. And here is where most men fail. They surround themselves with fools, with gossips, with failures. They laugh at their jokes, entertain their complaints, tolerate their mediocrity, and they tell themselves, "I am different." But they are not different. Weakness infects, shame stains. Stand beside a fool long enough, and you become a fool in the eyes of others. Soon you are no longer seen as an individual. You are seen as part of the pack. And if the pack is weak, then so are you. Machiavelli was merciless on this point. He said, "The first impression one gets of a ruler and his intelligence is from the men he has around him." A prince with corrupt or foolish ministers is condemned by their reflection. Nothing has changed. In the modern office, you are judged less by what you say and more by who sits beside you. Think about it. Today, your circle is your brand. Employers notice the colleagues you protect. Managers notice the peers you defend. Even outside the office, your social circle stains or strengthens your professional name. If your companions lack discipline, people assume you lack it too. If your inner circle is toxic, people assume you are toxic. Association is perception, and perception is power. So what would Machiavelli do? He would audit his circle with ruthless precision. He would cut liars, complainers, and gossips, no matter how entertaining they might be. He would keep only men and women who reflect the standards he claims, because proximity transfers reputation. And in politics, you are not only guilty by action, you are guilty by association. Never forget this. The wrong allies destroy you faster than open enemies. An enemy strikes from the front. You see him, you prepare. But a weak ally drains you silently every time you stand beside him. This is the fourth law of strategic success in office politics. Choose your company. Surround yourself with weapons, not weaknesses. Stand with allies who elevate you, and you will rise. Stand with fools, and you will fall with them. Be seen, or be forgotten. In the ruthless game of office politics, absence is not neutral. It is suspicion. When you vanish, no one assumes you are working hard. They assume you are irrelevant, disloyal, weak. Presence is legitimacy. Visibility is power. A man who hides too often is already forgotten. Think about your own behavior. How many times have you skipped the meeting? Avoided the networking event? Stayed silent in a discussion where influence was forged? You tell yourself it doesn't matter, but it matters. Because in your absence, the story doesn't stop. It is written without you, and rarely in your favor. When you are not present, others decide who you are and what you stand for. Machiavelli warned, "A prince must make himself esteemed and feared. Appearing weak makes him despised." To disappear is to invite contempt. To hide is to surrender the stage. And in politics, whether ruling a state or navigating an office, contempt is fatal. Translate this to today's world. Visibility is credibility. The leaders who show up, contribute, and support become indispensable. The man who is absent becomes irrelevant. Worse, he becomes a rumor. People begin to whisper, "Where is he? Why isn't he here? Can we rely on him?" Your silence becomes your signature. So what would Machiavelli do? He would attend strategically, not everywhere, but exactly where influence is forged. He would be seen helping, supporting, contributing, never lurking in shadows, never making excuses. He would use presence as a weapon, reminding people of his value before they had the chance to forget it. He would dominate the stage because he knew the stage belongs to the man who shows up. Never forget this. The invisible man has no power. To hide is to surrender. To vanish is to be erased. The game of office politics is played in plain sight, and only those who show up can shape its outcome. This is the fifth law of strategic success in office politics. Show up, don't hide. If you are present, you are powerful. If you are absent, you are nothing. Remember, or be forgotten. In office politics, power does not rest on skill alone. It rests on loyalty, and loyalty, in its purest form, rests on memory. To acknowledge others is not kindness, it is strategy. Every remembered detail, every recalled favor, every gesture of recognition. These are invisible chains that bind people to you. But here is where most men fail. You forget names, you forget favors, you forget the details that matter. And in doing so, you make people feel unseen. To forget someone is to declare you are expendable. And expendable people never defend you. They will watch you fall, or worse, they will push you. Machiavelli was clear. A wise ruler will reward and honor his people to keep them loyal. Gratitude is not sentiment. Recognition is not softness. They are weapons, sharper than fear, more lasting than gold. When a prince remembered his allies, he was not being generous. He was securing soldiers for the battles to come. Now, translate this to today's office. The smallest gestures build empires of loyalty. Remembering a colleague's win, sending a timely message before a big meeting, mentioning a past favor at the exact moment it matters. These small acknowledgements forge bonds stronger than any salary. Forget them, and those bonds break instantly. So what would Machiavelli do? He would keep records, names, dates, victories, favors, each one ammunition for loyalty. He would thank publicly to build reputation. He would acknowledge privately to build intimacy. He would never miss the chance to recall a favor, making others feel irreplaceable. Because a man who feels valued will fight for you harder than a man who feels bought. Never forget this. Memory is loyalty weaponized. In the court of office politics, people do not follow the most talented man. They follow the man who made them feel remembered. Forget, and you stand alone. Remember, and you command an army. This is the 6th law of strategic success in office politics. Remember and acknowledge. Master it, and others will shield you when arrows fly. Neglect it, and you will learn how fast the forgotten are abandoned. Your shadow online is your true face. In the digital age, your reputation does not live in whispers, it lives in search results. Before a manager trusts you, before an ally aligns with you, before an enemy strikes, they type your name, and what they see there is the reality they believe. But here is the trap. You post recklessly. You rant without thought. You stain yourself online in ways that cannot be erased. You joke carelessly. You argue publicly. You reveal too much. And when the time comes, those stains are unearthed. Not by you, but by your enemies. You let them define you because you never curated yourself. Machiavelli warned princes. A prince must always avoid actions that will make him despised or ridiculed. In his day, ridicule spread in taverns and markets. In ours, it spreads online, amplified, archived, immortalized. One careless act is never forgotten. It multiplies, it spreads, it follows you forever. Today, your online presence is your permanent reputation. Employers, allies, clients, rivals, they will know you by your digital shadow before they ever know you in person. Your words, your pictures, your likes, your comments, they build you or they destroy you. And once they are out, they do not belong to you, they belong to the world. So what would Machiavelli do? He would audit his digital self relentlessly, knowing exactly what others see first. He would post with precision, not noise, but signals of discipline, achievement, and strength. He would erase or bury anything that invites ridicule, ensuring his enemies find nothing to use against him. He would shape his digital shadow as carefully as a prince shapes his crown, because he knew perception is power. Remember this, your digital shadow is eternal. Shape it, or it will shape you. In the court of office politics, you may wear one face in the boardroom, but online, your shadow is the face that never sleeps. Guard it, and it becomes armor. Neglect it, and it becomes the dagger in your back. This is the 7th law of strategic success in office politics. Guard your online image. Master it, and you control the narrative. Ignore it, and you will be ruled by it. 7 laws, 7 weapons. Consistency makes you stable. Respect makes you untouchable. Early correction keeps you clean. Association strengthens your image. Visibility ensures you cannot be ignored. Memory makes others loyal. And your digital shadow, it speaks for you when you are silent. Machiavelli understood a timeless truth. Power rests not only in armies or in gold, but in reputation, because reputation rules even when you are absent. It fights for you while you sleep. It shields you when you stumble. It speaks when you choose silence. Guard it as a prince guards his throne, with vigilance, with strategy, with ruthlessness. Do this, and you will not merely survive the battlefield of office politics. You will dominate it.
Thanks for spending time in this. If this sparked a new way of thinking, hit like and subscribe to keep the ideas flowing. And don't forget, check the description for the links to the resources and the original books we used today. We'll see you in the next one.